You're watching KSPF Channel 1. College basketball has been back with us for a little more than a week now. And with that being said, we have what could be the game of the season this weekend. Yes, Saturday at noon, we get the number 1 Gonzaga Bulldogs against the number 2 Baylor Bears. The Bulldogs come into this game with an RPI rating of 6 and a strength of schedule at 16. The Bears come into this game with an RPI of 15 and a strength of schedule of 48. And this game is going to have no lack of scoring. It's going to be a fun game to watch if you like to see two teams put up a ton of points. Each team is averaging 93 points per game. Now, while both squads can pretty much outscore anybody who takes the court with them, there is a significant difference between how many points they can score and how many points they generally allow. For Gonzaga, they're allowing almost 80 points per game against them. For Baylor, they're allowing about 68 points per game. Both teams come into this game with a record of 3-0. Now, having said that, not all 3-0 seasons are built the same. And I know that's kind of a cliche to say, but for the Bears, their opening schedule consists of Louisiana, Washington, and Illinois. Now, while I recognize that there is some name recognition to be had on Baylor's list, the combined record of all three of those teams currently stands at 3-4. Now, as for Gonzaga, they come into this game having played against number 6 Kansas, Auburn, and number 11 West Virginia. The combined record of all those teams is 6-4. A video about this kind of game, though, would feel incomplete without talking about the two guys that lead each team. I want to talk a second about Gonzaga head coach Mark Few and Baylor head coach Scott Drew. In his time at Gonzaga, Mark Few has added up quite the resume. He has 602 wins for 124 losses. Since 1999, when Mark Few took over as the head coach of Gonzaga, his team has taken part in 20 out of the last 21 conference titles. That kind of resume in your conference is going to lead you with plenty of NCAA tournament appearances. It's also going to give you the opportunity to boast quite a resume. Mark Few has 9 Sweet 16s, on top of 2 Elite 8s, 1 Final Four, and an NCAA runner-up, falling just short to the North Carolina Tar Heels in the 2017 NCAA tournament. In 2003, Scott Drew took over as the Baylor Bears head coach. He has a 367 and 220 record to boast, with no Big 12 titles to his name. Now under Scott Drew, the Bears have made both the NIT and the NCAA tournament. In the NIT tournament, the Bears have been NIT runner-up and NIT champions under Drew. The Bears haven't been any slouch in the NCAA tournament, though, with 4 Sweet 16s and 2 Elite 8s under Drew. So personally, I think I'm ready to make a score prediction about who's going to win this game. It seems pretty obvious that the Bears have a great defense. They come up strong and they hold teams to under 70 points per game. With that being said, the competition strength seems to be quite obvious too. There's a strong difference between the schedules that the two teams have played currently. I believe Gonzaga has definitely played the tougher schedule. With that in mind, I do think that they're going to be held to a few fewer points than what they're used to scoring, but I think the final score is going to be 84-79 in favor of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Let me know in the comments. What do you think the final score of this game is going to be? Do you think that these two teams are accurately rated this season, or do you think that they're overrated? I'd like to hear what you have to say. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to this video if you'd like to see more content. And don't forget, go Pokes!